My name is Chronicle, and I play as a thief on the Blackgate server. Uh, I created a life leeching venomous build, primarily for double daggers. You can use, however, other weapon sets, but in this case, I wanted to use double daggers because, let's face it, I am in love with Dagger, just for the aesthetics of it. Um, the bread and butter of this build is, of course, the traits Leeching Venom and Quick Venoms. Lower the cooldown of Venoms, and of course giving your Venoms more utility ability when you use them. So they can be used both offensively and defensively. Your healing skill you can choose yourself, but I would like to just give a little shout out to Skelk Venoms, just for the pure fact of how powerful Skelk Venom really is. It is probably the strongest heal that we have as thieves. It is so powerful, both for the fact that you can trade it in to do damage when applying, and that it heals you when you basically use it per charge. And Skelk Venom, oh, I'm just so in love with it. I really am. It saved my butt so many times. And it's also caused me to learn to play as Thief in a different style without having to rely on the constant cloaking or the evasive withdraw, which both are pretty good. They're really decent for doing what they're supposed to do. Withdraw being you get your fuck out of the situation, or hide in shadows as in like, hi, I'm gone now. But Skelk Venom is a bit different. Skelk Venom is more of a, hi, I'm here and I'm gonna stay. And I'm gonna do a lot of pressure on you while I keep myself in full health. And that's what Skelk Venom is really good for, especially when you combo it with both other abilities such as gain life on critical hit from the sigil of blood, really good. As well as Superior Rune of Vampirism, basically when you're using a healing ability, you gain leeching. Leeching, basically, you do damage and you heal yourself up for a considerable amount. As well as, to the fact that you have vampirism, you also have a 15% chance of, when hit, to gain leeching. So you're pretty much gonna get leeching all the time, and it's on a 10-second cooldown for both. So you're gonna heal quite frequently just by being in the battle. As well as when you combo it with having Celestial Amulet, giving you both healing power, position, ferocity, vitality, and so on and so forth. You're looking at a good amount of presence and pressure on this field. Right now what happened was that I was dueling this really obnoxious Guardian who was blocking a lot, which caused me to mistime my Venoms, because if he blocks my Venoms, I don't do the damage, I don't get healed, and I also didn't notice the Ranger sneaking up behind me, which basically made me lose that fight, and I made the bad call of going up the stairs as basically he kind of figured out where I was gonna go. I should have waited in misform and used my number 5 skill to get up on the ledge, but that was a bad play on my part. So anyways, I come back into the game here, and I'm gonna go and duel this Ranger. The Ranger is gonna do a lot of damage to me, but I'm just gonna heal it back up again by applying one Venom, then applying the other Venom, using Shadow Step, clear Condis on me so that I don't have the full amount of vulnerability stacks on me, and I'm not too worried about him. I never really am against Rangers. It's the Condi Rangers that are a little bit more challenging to fight, as the constant conditions they can apply and the pressure they can apply, and they're just so tanky. It's insane. But yeah, the only downside of the spec is that is conditions itself. You don't have much Condi clear, so you need to be very careful against other condition spec classes. As you primarily only have Shadow Step as a source of stun break and Condi clear. So you want to make the call, do you want to save it for stun breaking, or do you want to save it for condition clearing or gap closing? So that's all you have to decide on, is one or the other. It doesn't really matter, but just keep that in mind. But what you primarily want to do with this build is that you want to keep your Venoms on a constant uptime. Basically, they're always on cooldown. Sometimes I do the wrong choice or forget to apply my Venom, but the reason why this is because the Venom duration when applying is 30 seconds, while because I'm traded into Quick Venom, the cooldown on each Venom is 32 seconds. So there's only a 2-second downtime on the Venoms itself. Even if I don't get to use them, they'll be back up in 2 seconds. As well as timed out with Skelk Venom. Basically, you can apply Skelk Venom, proc that leech on him, on yourself, and just save it until you begin combat, so that if he gets an opening strike on you, you will lose some health, but you will gain that health back up again as soon as you open up your burst on him. Leeching does the full 900 damage, and none of this gets affected by armor or toughness, so it will always be that flat damage. It's true damage, basically, for League of Legends players, if anybody understands that notion. But yeah.
Your enemy has the temple now.
You can also use other Venoms. I like Ice Drake Venom. Ice Drake Venom is also really strong, but the chill duration, in my opinion, is a little bit too short for it to be rather effective. I like that you can slow your target down considerably, and also you affect their own cooldowns upon applying chill. But immobilize, in this sense, it's a lot longer. You can keep them pinned down, and you can apply your pressure on them for much longer than if you use Ice Drake Venom. Although Ice Drake Venom is 1 charge more, so that's 1 charge more of damage and healing capability. One thing that you would like to also use as a thief is short bow offhand, so that you have the mobility around structured PvP. Because in structured PvP, your shadow steps are much much easier to use than in World vs. World, as the pathing is much clearer, and you don't have to mess up as much. So yeah. Again, Condi, this is a Condi spec ranger, and I'm trying to keep my pressure on him, but I don't want to get hit by him too much, due to that I just know that I want to keep my shadow step up in case I get into trouble. And that is, I know that they have a thief up, and if he hits me and bursts me down or something, I will need shadow step to get out, because it's the only stun break I have. So I will need to time my situation really well. Again, I went down to half health, and then I was back up to full health just by applying Skelk Venom there, as well as my other Venoms. And I really think that Venoms overall are very underrated in both World vs. World and structured PvP. You don't see it as often. You see them with other thieves that go Condi spec and pure Condi spec with Venom sharing, and it's all good, but I think short bow is probably the more supportive role for Venom sharing, as you want to stay more back-lined, applying your Venoms to your teammates while they're doing the damage. Your Venoms are still doing damage, but the more important part of the Venoms is the utility that they bring, the control that they bring to the fight. As you saw there, that the thief just didn't stand a chance as he tried to clear the conditions that I applied to him. I just reapplied it again with my own Venoms, and it's just really strong. I can't say anything more about it. Again, I'm just healing my way back up after that poor ranger did a rapid fire on me, brought me down to 10, like under half health. And yet I just heal it way back up again. And again, why some people have asked me why I use Superior Rune of Vampirism. Well, Superior Rune Vampirism really brings a lot to the game as a thief. It has a lot of synergy with our overall trait line, I would say, especially in Shadow Arts. If you trade into Shadow Arts, it is really strong to have Superior Runes of Vampirism, especially because the sixth, basically the sixth ability of Superior Rune of Vampirism is if you're struck under 25% health, you will go into Misform. Now, Misform, basically, it's a stun breaker, and it basically gives you a little bit more speed boosts in mobility, so you can basically outrun people or run away from people if it's up, and so on. But what it synergizes well with is your minor trait in Shadow Arts, where Blinding Powder. When you're struck under, I think it's 25% health, you go into Blinding Powder. And most people die because of Blinding Powder, or they just don't know how to use Blinding Powder, or just notice that their health is about to drop under 25%, and therefore not attack when they're going to go into Blinding Powder, or going to stealth for that matter. And this is what Superior Rune Vampirism is really good for, as it basically, you're going to go into Blinding Powder, and you're going to go into Misform at the same time. So you're not going to uncloak and screw yourself over and just die immediately. You can get away, you can reposition yourself, you can have time to wait for your cooldowns to go down, and then apply your Venoms, and then heal your way back up, as you just saw. And again, I would just like to say, you can choose any of those Venoms to whichever playstyle you prefer. I just like Dagger Venom and Scale Venom in most of my playthroughs, as when you use Celestial Amulet in Structured PvP, you both gain the condition damage and the power that you need to basically do the damage, and 3 stacks of Torment on your initial attack will cause severely a considerable amount of damage to your opponent, and most people don't notice it until it's too late. Also, the 3 extra charges of vulnerability, or 4 extra charges of vulnerability that you apply onto your opponent with also with Cloak and Dagger, which is a 7 stack vulnerability on your opponent, is also a nice good opening or damage onto you're doing. And because you're traded into Deadly Arts, you're also doing 10% increased damage to whenever your opponent is suffering from a condition, and you're always gonna have a condition on your opponent. You're always gonna do 10%. There's nothing about it. So overall, I would give this spec a really consideration to try it out. It is really strong in structured PvP, solo-wise, solo queue. You're gonna do well. You can there's many classes that you can duel against and survive without going down immediately. You don't have to rely on going into stealth as much, so that the points will go uncontested to the enemy if you're trying to defend a point. And you can give your team more let's say teamwork play as a dagger thief, due to the pressure that you can put out both with Death Blossom and your burst. So the enemy just has to be aware that as long as you're alive, you are a threat to them, because you are going to immobilize them, you are going to Basilisk Venom them, you are going to burst them down if they are not careful.
You've got the temple.
So that is pretty much what I have to say about this build of mine. I hope you try it out. I hope it becomes popular, because I've always wanted to contribute to the Thief community, as well as other, let's say, Thief players that has been doing YouTube videos, like Kiyoshi and Reigning Thief. I would like to give a shout out to them. Rainy Thief had taught me a lot in the beginning of both Thief builds and structured PvP. And different mechanics that the Thief you could do, like cast Cloak and Dagger and steal upon doing it, and so on. That was way back in the beginning of Guild Wars 2, when everything was fairly new and people were still learning, of course. But he still taught me a lot, and there's a lot of thieves still that teach me new things, new ways of play styles and so on. But I also want to be able to do the exact same as being contributing and teaching others how to play thief. Especially since now that the Heart of Thorns has been announced, and there's been an increase in players, and most people, or not most, but many people choose to play as a thief due to just the fair share of like what thief is. It's an assassin class, and you want to be an assassin, and that's what you are. And again, basically assassinating with venoms. But that is all I have to say about it. If you liked, go ahead and check out the link in the description and go and post on the forums. If you have any say to the build itself, or if you've tried it out. If you like it, or if it's not your playstyle, it doesn't matter. I still like to hear what you think about it. If you've tried in ranked, go ahead. I also would like to just say you should probably consider also doing Venom sharing in ranked. Dagger and a short bow, the old classic setup that used to be the power backstab dagger build, but now is, in my opinion, the power Venom life leeching deadly build. This has been fun. This is Chronicle. You're allowed to. You can always write to me if you want. It's on the forums, of course, or in game. If you have any questions about the build or how I set up in both World versus World. World versus World is about the same, except for it's a lot harder to get the stats matching with Celestial in structured PvP, but you can still do it. But in World versus World, I am running a mix between Berserker and Assassin's Gear and Valkyrie as well to try and get my vitality and my ferocity and crit chance somewhat up at a decent level. So that's it. My name is Chronicle. I am in Ruin Gaming, and hope you enjoyed.
God above, why would you do that? Now we're going to I'm double daggered. God Lord, don't do this. Oh, this is an atrocious build. Whatever. Didn't spec into anything. I'm just using two bad weapons. I'm gonna switch my weapon out. I can't do it. Not if you're gonna record it.
The match starts soon.
You're very rude.
Hold on to your points. Seize theirs. Enemy seized the altar. Ferocity has appeared. You've got the temple. Your enemy has the gate.
We had to move out of mid. We all died. It's terrible. Who's on our team? What are we fighting with? They did not have very strong engage. There you are.
You've captured the altar.
Let's try that again. Maybe are. Oh, hey, they're engaging on me over here. Engage on that guy down there. They'll finish him off.
I feel so vulnerable.
The Ranger. It's the Ranger. She has to die. Yeah.
I feel good.
Those two are annoying.
You control the gate. Stillness has appeared.
That Ranger's playing like total Jew.
Your enemy has the gate. Ferocity has appeared.
No, you're not.
Your enemy has the temple now. You control the gate. Your enemy seized the altar.
Let's go this way. Go to the point.
Your enemy has the gate. You've got the temple! Tranquility has appeared. . You have all 3 points. Hold them at all costs.
They just can't take it. The Venom Share and then the Life Blast at point blank range. It's just too much.
Your enemy seized the altar. Your enemy has the gate.
Yeah, that's where I'm going. He's running away. What bitch. I'm already here.
Ferocity has appeared.
Three minutes.
You've captured the altar.
And that's a real bitch right there. Stack
Your
and
enemy
immobilize.
has the gate. Your team is victorious. Stillness has appeared.
Fully adrenaline.
Your enemy has the...